Hello wild ponies. Microsoft bought Activision for a sum of money unimaginable to ordinary mortals. In my opinion, this move makes no sense in the current reality of Xbox as a platform. A platform owner, such as Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft, charges each publisher for each copy of a game sold. When a publisher releases a game for a platform, they have to pay the owner of that platform a tribute. The better the game sells, the more the platform owner earns. What offers the platform owner? Of course he gives a market, customers. The larger the install base of the platform, the more potential buyers for the publisher's game. As you can easily see, this is an ideal business for the platform owner. The one who bears the highest costs is not the owner of the platform, but the publisher, who must pay for the entire production of the game, maintain the developers, offices, hardware, and take care of marketing. The platform owner is just counting the money. Practically pure profit. In case of failure, again, the platform owner is in a winning position. He simply won't make money. And the publisher not only won't make money, but won't be reimbursed for production costs. The platform owner risks virtually nothing. When a platform owner buys a publisher, he automatically loses the profits from the royalties that the publisher has been paying. And at the same time, he bears the production costs and the risk of failure. On top of that, buying a publisher doesn't bring an immediate return on investment. You won't see results immediately. On the contrary, you will incur costs for already started and future productions. Microsoft, buying Activision, spent an astronomical amount of money. And those are not all the costs. Potential and still uncertain profits lie somewhere in the undefined future. Another problem is that if you want to keep the publisher's games as exclusive to your platform, you automatically deprive yourself of a large part of the profits. And if you don't want to release games on PlayStation, you are cutting off the biggest market and your biggest profits. As you can see, from a rational point of view, the platform owner should not buy publishers. The platform owner should want to be as many publishers in the market as possible. Why Microsoft acquired Activision? The primary function of a normal company is to generate profits. And no normal company has a higher purpose other than profits. However, it's clear that Microsoft is not a normal company, and Microsoft didn't buy Activision for profits or to make Xbox fanboys happy. Looking at Activision's annual profits, it's easy to conclude that it will be many years before Microsoft begins to profit from this purchase. In addition, Activision's game profits may decline as a result of Microsoft's policy, specifically the one that says all first-party games go to Game Pass day one. Microsoft no doubt realizes that Xbox can't beat PlayStation and Nintendo. Microsoft has even tried giving away games for free, or almost free. Even that didn't help them. The Xbox brand has been trying to win second place for 20 years. Second, because they can't even dream about the first place. If you can't conquer the fortress, you can try to starve the defenders of the fortress. In this case, let the fortress be PlayStation and the food be games. If Microsoft takes over all the food producers, Sony won't be able to feed the PlayStation community on its own. In other words, if Microsoft manages to take over most or all publishers, PlayStation will have no access to third-party games. Sony would be left with PlayStation Studios games and hundreds of questionable quality indie games. Presumably, such a situation would weaken PlayStation enough to allow Xbox to climb out of third place. This plan, however, may not work. We all know the case of Nintendo. Nintendo platforms are famous for exclusive games, and only because for them people buying their consoles. Nintendo has operated for years with very modest support from third-party publishers. And despite a relatively small library of AAA games from other publishers, high hardware and accessory prices, Nintendo always finishes the generation on first or second place. So, it's likely that the true intent of this ridiculous acquisition lies somewhere in the middle. Microsoft wants to weaken PlayStation, and perhaps Nintendo as well, strengthen its position, and increase the importance of Game Pass enough that competing platforms will agree to Game Pass service on their consoles. That is, Xbox ultimately wants to become a service available on all platforms. Phil has repeatedly made it clear that Microsoft doesn't make money on consoles, and so they want to make money on services. Phil didn't mention competing with Google or Amazon for no reason. Of course, it wasn't about competing directly. Phil meant to say that he wants to create such a powerful online service that size can compete with Google or Amazon. But that's not possible under current conditions, because Xbox install base is far too small. That's why Game Pass has been extended to the PC. And that's why xCloud service is coming soon, which will also be available on smartphones. The next step of being like Google is to make the service available on all possible platforms. And, naturally, here comes PlayStation and Nintendo, which have huge user bases, potential subscribers to Microsoft services. By buying out publishers, Xbox wants to force everyone to switch to distributing games as an online service. This is what Microsoft wants. Then they could dictate terms to everyone, including us. When you look at the full picture, everything starts to become clear. Let's go back to 2013, when Microsoft revealed the Xbox One. Remember what Microsoft wanted to do? Online only. DRM. No game sharing. No used games. And always watching Kinect.
The Xbox One seems to block used games. Are you fucking shitting me? Second install, it on separate live account sits behind a paywall. A fucking message pops up, say, give us money, god damn it! Can I borrow one of your games, Joe? Hell yeah, man. Check it out. Look at my badass library of games. I paid out the ass for it. That means you get to enjoy it as my friend. Do you get to enjoy it in the future? Hell fucking no!
Now the PS4 is easy to talk about because it isn't laced with bullshit. I'm sure you guys have all seen that video by now of the Sony sitting around and talking about like, how do you play your, how do you share games with your friends? You hand it to them, you're done. That's it. No online all the time requirement. Region-free console, which is pretty awesome. PS3 had that as well. And you just, you know, can hand your games off to your friends. Used games are awesome. Which is, it's ridiculous that this is even an issue.
I don't really think we're not going to change anything. I mean, we're very happy with what we've done with Xbox One. We're very happy.
PlayStation 4 won't impose any new restrictions on the use of PS4 gaming. When a gamer buys a PS4 disc, they have the rights to use that copy of the game. They can trade in the game at retail, sell it to another person, lend it to a friend, or keep it forever. PlayStation 4 disc-based games don't need to be connected online to play. PS4 won't require you to check in online periodically. And it won't stop working if you haven't authenticated within 24 hours.
Connect 2! That is somehow even bigger, uglier, and more evil looking. I can't believe it. Each disc must then only install for a single owner. Goodbye, Advantage consoles. Goodbye, Advantage consoles. Going back to the PC. What point is there now in buying an Xbox One when you have PC?
It just turned out that gamers' asses were not ready for such a brutal fuck yet. That's why the plan is now being implemented gradually. They're stretching the gamers' asses, little by little. Names were changed. Some influencers were bribed, and they threw the gamers some benefits, like a bottle of lube. And, suddenly, everyone loves Game Pass. Everyone loves paying. Everyone loves paying for random games they don't own and don't play. The popularization of Game Pass and similar services led to complete digitization, the death of physical media and the free market, the dictatorship of pricing, the inability to rent and sell used games, and, the most important, led to the death of the ownership. And the main beneficiary of all this cloud gaming will of course be Microsoft, not Xbox. Microsoft would probably love to get rid of the Xbox right now, but like I said, step by step, your asses are getting ready for the final blow. Microsoft has long made its biggest profits from online services, which is why Microsoft wants to get us all dependent on them. And that's why they easily spent $70 billion. They didn't spend that money to make more money. They spent them because Activision's strongest and best-selling games are online service games. Many gamers are wondering what the future holds for Call of Duty on PlayStation. At this point, we know that the agreements that PlayStation made with Activision are still in place, and for the next few years Call of Duty will be present on PlayStation. What will happen after that? We don't know. It will all depend on the situation of Xbox and Game Pass. So far, Phil Spencer declared that Call of Duty will stay on PlayStation. But we remember that a similar message was associated with Bethesda games. Only idiots believe Phil Spencer. The man is a notorious liar. He sometimes even lies when he lies. At the end of the puzzle, we still have dumb Xbots who are extremely happy about this turn of events. They forget that Microsoft's practices may lead to the same reaction from the other giants in the market. What if the other companies decide to buy out other publishers before Microsoft does? This could lead to another dangerous situation, that there will only be 3 or 2 companies left in the market, and this will kill diversity and competition, could lead to price collusion, and it will be virtually impossible for indie developers and smaller publishers to compete with such giants. The joy of the Xbox, from a logical point of view, of course, doesn't make sense. Because this agreement doesn't give them anything. Games that have been on Xbox until now will still be on Xbox. Nothing new. Unless it makes them happy that Xbox has the ability to take games like Call of Duty away from other platforms. Then I'd like to remind them that it's no one else but Xbox who keep telling us that exclusivity isn't a consumer. Also, Xbox were the ones who keep telling us that ponies love to play only one and done games. Call of Duty probably doesn't count as one of them.